Today I'll be sharing of the 8th of the 4th month of 1430, The Blonde Stranger in the Creek, Chapter 3, The Light and Sound with the Lazy Spiritual Practice. The words of 6/7/1429 in the 9th hour of the night. Take this veil off my eyes. Life to me is to be a surprise. Hide me from you, hide me from me. Open my eyes, open my eyes, open my eyes, open my eyes, open my eyes. No longer a surprise, snake of Kundalini arise. There is the basic spiritual practice and the lazy spiritual practice. The basic, for example, is one that can be for 2 minutes when first up after dawn, 4 in the early afternoon, 4 more in the late afternoon, 3 in the evening, and 4 more after dusk. That could be added up to, in a traditional manner, by 2 minutes before those of dawn, 4 before and 2 after those of early afternoon, 2 after those of evening, and 2 after those of the dusk birth. Further, one may add an odd-numbered set of movements as the last rite before the crack of dawn. Sets of 2 before that, and sets of 2 or 4 between 15 minutes after sunrise till noon hour. She who saw herself as a snake in a dream said, "I think even the 17 is too much to do right now as a daily thing." Again, I'm not trying to mimic the Princess of Cups voice. I'm just trying to show some difference between the two. Very well, said Sheikh Sabnu. I shall share of the lazy spiritual practice. This is that which occurs as one falls asleep or wakes. The easiest to perform is that done before sleeping. Go to bed as much as 15 minutes before you need to sleep. Find a position by which you can sleep and relax as much as possible. On the right side, with the knees and arms bent a little, and on the back are known to be the positions for dreamers. Then you say something, read or recite a verse showing your intentions for sleep. I recite Al-Quran, Surah 2, verses 254, 285, and 286. I now might just throw in 256, just because it's next to 255. Then fall asleep in remembrance. I do have dreams, she said. I recently had one I don't understand. Do tell. I saw a snake and a bone jumping over fences and traversing past other dangers. The whole scene seemed reminiscent of a Gothic horror flick. She continued, relating more, and a couple more dreams. Sheikh Sabnu interpreted, Woman, you are that snake, and the man you spoke of is the bone. When you see him as more firm in the way than yourself, you see him as more firm in the way than yourself, but you could go Either way, whether you're to end up with him or not, one needs what all need. A partner for the magnum opus, or the great work. The religious know what we are taught in Al-Quran, Surah 103. Believe, do good, and encourage each other to truth and patience. I continue by saying the snake may be the Kundalini. When one learns the magical use of breath, voice, and music, one may start to feel and even see it within oneself in a shape resembling a snake, and it kind of, kind of curves and kind of like a rainbow snake, the vibrations that you form. Days later, she said, "As I go to sleep, I'm starting to see small amounts of psychedelic light, and sometimes I hear a slight sound I can't figure out the source of." That is from the one both within and without. Shall I explain further of the mystery of light and sound? Now there is a chant popularized 500 years ago in India by a man called Chaitanya. Well, he was called that. He wasn't Chaitanya. That was just his name. His physical thing. That wasn't his actual identity. He wasn't the supreme enlightener like Shiva or something. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hari Hari, Hari Rama, Rama Rama, Hari Hari. Hari is God as omnipotent, omniscient, and omnipresent. Krishna is the God of light and all attractive. Rama is God of sound and the source of pleasure. Now, I'm not asking you to say this 1,728 times, as some do, on a daily basis. What I'm asking you to understand is the message of this chant. This is that all light and sound are manifestations of a God, yet not divine, but a creation, a realization of how God is everywhere, all-powerful, and all-knowing. Is to connect to this. Do you understand? Yes, continue, Snaky said. Light is that by which all things in our universe are known. Light, sound, heat, and other radiations are all linked as vibrations. Without the vibrations, there'd be no tastes, no smells, no feelings, no sounds, and no sights. All these can be viewed or sensed in terms of light. For these reasons, light is a perfect symbol of knowledge. Is this too much? Are you ready to hear of sound? Said Sheikh Slavnu. Thai on Bak Nature Wa is the long form of the spot letters. Wise in the soul service of Divine One. Snaky said she was listening. Sheikh Slavnu said, I will now discourse on sound. Allahu Samiyah, which means God is all-hearing. Sound in one of his creations, and that is what he hears. I'm used to facing there, so. This sound can be analyzed and used. A way of understanding this is via the Pythagorean scale. The notes of Pythagorean music is like unto the Jewish temple menorah, which has the sun in the middle and 3 planets on each side. The lower octave ascends to the solar sphere, gamma, G. The further ascension is to the zodiac, G, little g. The spheres before we get to the lunar sphere are Earth and water, 4/3 water, 3 halves, fire and air, 4/3, air and air, 3 halves. Another way of putting this is from Earth to the moon is 1 tone. The moon to Mercury is 1/2 tone. Mercury to Venus is another 1/2 tone. From the sphere of Venus to that of the sun is 1.5 tones. From that of the sun to that of Mars was 1 tone. From Mars to Jupiter, Jupiter to Saturn, and Saturn to fixed stars were 1/2 tone apiece. This comes out to the 6 tones, and that equals a full octave. Further, light and sound are things to which you should gain a further awareness before you seek to become adept at non-awareness. Snaky said softly, "I'll try to learn." May Allah bring you from wickedness to righteousness, and from ignorance to knowledge, prayed Sheikh Sabnu. Ameen. Amen, amen. She replied. And this was from the 8th of the 4th of 1430, and today is the 19th of the 11th of 1437.